So that's a klal gadol which is brought down Iyar Tav. Now, however, I looked up on another sefer and I found that he brings over there Iyar Tav, a Kabbalah from the Reb Zushia, but in a slightly different way, a very wonderful way, which also leads us a little bit of a step further, and that will allow me through that step to come to what Chabad says about it, and the Reb Rashav, and maybe ultimately we can understand what Chabad says about the whole thing. And that is that he brings down a kashya of this nature. It's a sefer from one of the, he was like, the original first of the Sotma Rebbeim was called the Yismak Moshe. And he had a grandson called, what was his name? Yifusil Yehuda. And he wrote a sefer called Iyar Tav Yud. It's a very amazing. It was like Drush and Nigla and all together. It's quite a remarkable thing. Anyway, he starts over the kasha on this posik. He's saying also he has a very strange way with the Torah. For the kasha, he said the Torah is warning you. Also, he starts over that not to ask kasha. That's the whole purpose of the posik. However, he begins with another question, and he says if we look over in Sefer Dvarim, in Pasha Dvarim itself, it's written Moshe Rabbeinu blessed the Jewish people. And it's written, how does it say? Vashem Alakechem Yevorech Eschem Kocha Elef Piyamim Yevorech Eschem Kasher Diber Lechem. That comes from Rashi, and Rashi said, what's this double business? He said, I'm giving you a blessing 1,000 times of what you normally have. And he said, Over Hashem will bless you the way he said. So Rashi says that Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, 1,000 times, a bracha 1,000 times over, that's my bracha. Of Hashem, Hashem's unlimited, Hashem can bless you a lot more than 1,000 times. Hashem's bracha is absolutely unlimited. In the middle, the Yidden said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ta magbil et birchesenu, you say 1,000 times, maybe the Yibshir wants to give more. And he said, no, he said, that's my bracha. So it's right there, the Iyar Tav. If the Abish is going to give a lot more, what if Moshe have to give you 1,000 times? 1,000 times is not enough. He didn't say you're limiting it to 1,000 times. What if Moshe have to first of all here to give that bracha, and then afterwards, Hashem comes along and gives his bracha. So he says that there's a big klal that he said first of all, the Gemara says in Masechta Kesubos, the great are the how do you call it? The Ma'aseh Tzadikim, Yeshiv mi Ma'aseh Shamayim V'Orei. The Mikdash is written Koinu Yodelcho, Loshen Rabim. That's two hands, Kaviocho. And by the heavens it's written Af Yodi Ososo Eso Shamayim. It's a Oretz Licha V'Yodi Tipko HaShamayim. Yemini Ososo Oretz V'Yodi Tipko. Or the other way around. And so the Gemara says in a place there that Yodi and Yemini, Yodi must be the small. It must be that he made the Shemayim with one and the Oretz he made with one hand. Or the base of Mikdash he built with two hands. Why? Because that is Ma'aseh Tzadikim. In other words, where you got things which you didn't do themselves, and particularly if they do them Elech al Pitor and Mitzvahs, they're Tzadikim, then the Abishah gives a whacking bracha with both hands. Then he gives it with everything he's got, as long as it's first of all a Ma'aseh, how do you call it, a Ma'aseh Tzadik. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu said. If you want that the Abishah should first of all give you an unbelievable bracha, Ad b'li dai, be unlimited bracha, first of all I have to give my bracha. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that his bracha was Ma'aseh Tzadikim, and no, who give a bracha Ma'aseh Tzadikim, then the Abishah will give unlimited bracha. And that's, he said, what a kasha that might happen with Yidden, that Yidden might come up with a kasha and they might say, listen here, on Shemitah, we're not going to be sowing, we're not going to be doing anything. And it's going to be lacking the Ma'aseh tzaddikim. In other words, that we have to do something first. Now, don't belittle this kasha. You're going to see that this kasha occurs in Chassidus also. That we're going to be not doing anything. We're just going to be sitting around, and you're going to give us a bracha. Where's the maaseh tzaddikim that's going to be mamshik the amlin of the bracha? It's lacking what we're doing. We're not doing anything. So, he says the Rav Zusha gives up to follow. The Rav Zusha said the following about the whole thing. And there's an amazing Gemara in the Sekta Brachas and Tes Zayin Amud Aleph, but the Gemara says that Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, when he was a Kohen, I think he was a Kohen Gadol. Yeah, Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. He said Pam, and he was at Bisman Abayas. He was before the Fulton Abayas. He said Pam niknasti laheicho lahachtios haketeros. I once went in to offer up the incense on the golden altar. And he said, Varisi, I saw the Eivshe Kaviyah, like on the Parechet. And the Gemara brings the name of a malach. But it brings it very unusual. It brings with the Aleph at the beginning, and then with a Yud K for case at the end of it. It was a very unusual combination. For a Gemara, it's Mamish Klalli Parasha. You should look it up. You'll see it's very unusual. He saw that. So the Mar says, what's this weird name here, the Marshur? Talks, what's this strange looking name? So he says the Eloh's referring Elohim Tzoi. That's what the Marshur said. That's referring mamish to the Eivishter. A Katriel is Katriel is only one of the Malachim, and that's a very high madrega. And then he said the other letters Yud K is their nimshik lamata the Marshur. And it was, he said it's like a whole mareches Elikus, the Ein Sof and the Spheres and this. It's like a whole Seder. And he said, the Pshata Poshet Beyosa Shura to Kodesh. He saw a vision of much as a human could see of the Eivishter. And therefore the Gemara puts a whole sort of series of strange names and letters to say that. So the Eivishter says to him, Yishmoel Beni, he said, Barucheni, you should give me a bracha. The Eivishter asked the Kohen Gadol to give him a bracha. The Eivishter said, give me a bracha. So he says, okay. And he says, Yehi rotzin, sheyich bashu, rachamecha es ka'aska. I give you a blessing that your rachamim should conquer your anger, and you should be tisnahik in bonecha kemidas harachmim. So do with your children, the Yidden, only barachamim. So we see that there was a bakosha on the part of the Eivishter. The Eivishter asked that a Kohen Gadol give him a blessing. And he did. He gave him a bracha. So says the Hedikoim, the Rav Zusha, ben Apollo said that sometimes to get a bracha from the Eivishter, you have to give the Eivishter bracha. The Yidden have to be at the bench. The Eivishter, and that gives the Eivishter koya that he'll be misnaig in Bonov Barachim if they give him a bracha. That it should happen. And therefore, the Rav Zusha said that's a pshat that the Ma'aser Tzadikim can be mamshik the highest in Yonim. And he said that's in here, but Tzivisi as Pirchosi. What really the Eivishter means, you give me a bracha. Not that I'll give you a bracha, but you give me a bracha, and then I'll give you the best possible situation of the whole lot. In other words, the Rav Zusha, he learns that's a positive thing. What are we going to do? There's not going to be any Ma'aser Tzadikim, and things are not going to work. How are we going to have the Hashpah? First of all, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to teach us later that we have to have the Hashpah mitzad the Ma'aser Tzadikim, and then we get the Eivishter. So, what is the Ma'aser Tzadikim? You have to give the Eivishter. You have to rest the Eivishter that he should look after your Kaviyah, and then it'll work. Then it'll go. You Kaviyah will bench Hashem, and he'll give you back the bracha, and it'll all go from the Shemitah to the Yovel and everything. You'll eat all from the 60, and you'll have everything in it. In other words, the kasha is right, but it's not an ordinary kasha. It's not like, what are we going to do? The kasha is, how's it all going to work? If we're not going to be doing our Isarus of Vilatata, how's there going to be Isarus? you will have an Isserus to the Tata. You'll bench the Eibishter. You'll give the Eibishter bracha. Yeah. We will bless the Eibishter. We will say to the Eibishter, he rots in Bishvilcha, kaf v'kaf, or then we say, oh yeah. Okay, kaf v'kaf. And that's the Gemara in Brachas, that the Eibishter asked, he asked Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, Kohen Gadol, to bless him. And mashma, that he couldn't actually carry that out until he had the blessing, and that's what Moshe Rabbeinu meant, that you have to have the Ma'aseh Tzadikim, and then you have the divine blessing. Upon Shemitah you don't have it, so if you don't have it on Shemitah, you have to give the Eibishter bracha, yeah, and that's the lesson. Tzivisius Piruchosi means that it's going to come from you. And therefore the tzivisi is l'malusa, not a fault, but it's like a malusa. I will command my brother. If I command it, it's going to be a good bracha and a gesunte bracha. That's also in the name of Reb Zeus, which means that this, how do you call it? Reb Zeus is a very central figure in this whole union of Shemitah and the bitochen and believing that things are going to be good and not, how do you call it, spoiling things, doing the right thing. And that's, Reb Zeus is all around that. He's all, somehow Razak Kabbalah, somehow Razak Kabbalah. His brother quoted him differently. And now this person quoted him, the Yitav upon him, he quotes him differently, but it all seems to be around the same basic idea, the same basic union. But it's shame that the kasha wasn't just stomach kasha, what are we going to eat? Well, the kasha is, how is it going to be nimshach if there's not, first of all, Yisrus de Latata, and then afterwards, Yisrus de Leila. Sure? So, Ramah B'Sapele, to the great surprise, there's a moment in Tofresh Ayin Ches from the Rebbe Rasham. Ki Seimru, the same pasuk, the whole thing. And he brings down the Ramban, the Keneged Leosilov, and therefore the Shemitah is Keneged Leosi, and therefore it's very strict and everything. And then also he asks the same question. Why did the Torah put in a question? What is the question? What's the problem? He asked the Rebbe Rashab asked basically the same question. And then he goes away a big long Arikas Kedahu, but the whole thing is that the way the Eibishter made is very similar to what we were just talking. The way the Eibishter made the whole Seder of Ishtalshus, Beneget and Nishamas Yisrael, it has to be Yisrus de Latata, Yisrus de Leila. You want a divine influence, you have to do something first. And he develops on that whole theme that there has to first of all be an Yisrus de Latata, and then an Yisrus de Leila. So, he gives up on Kama Madregas, the Rebbe, in different levels. But he said there's even a level where it's not really real, and yet it is real. He said there's certain inyonim which we do, which are not really Yisrus de Latata, which is able to reach the level which it calls out. That's not really a real Yisrus de Latata, but the Eibishter wanted that you do that, and if he hadn't have done that, then he wouldn't give this tremendous Yisrus de Leila, which is not the Fiera that he does give. And he gives an example of Sfiras Oim. He said the Sfiras Oim is a we count the Oima, 49, and then there's Nivshut the Sharanun. Now there are different opinions about that, whether the Sharanun is Be'era or it's not Be'era. But he says that the Sharanun is a Madrege, which is Pnimis Akesa, it's beyond the whole Yisrus de Latata. We have no quest to get to the Sharanun. How does it happen? How is it on Shvuin? The Eibishter gives this tremendous blessing of Matan Torah, which is Gili Pnimis Anochi Availika, Gili Pnimis Akesa, and therefore you have to tell you. He writes there. Therefore you have to be toivel, Shvuis in the morning after the in order to be mekabel this madrig, you have to have a special tavila, which is only to be mekabel the sharon. That's the whole purpose of that tavila, because it's a tremendously high matter. But he said there's certain Yisrusa de Latata, Yisrusa de La'ela, that they don't work in the normal pattern, that what you do is ma'in, and therefore you call out, but you just have to do what you can. You have to do the best you can. Then the Eibishter gives a ina which is shaloi be'erat lezeh, avrim lo ha'itu aserte, lo hayanote. If you hadn't done that, then he wouldn't give. In other words, even though it's not be'erat, oh, that's the way to go. Ultimately, it's a matana, but you have to do what you can. And he brings certain other dugmais. because of the lack of time, I don't want to go, and I don't want to confuse you with too many issues at one go. But he said this is a perfect example. 7 times 7 is 49. But that is the bureau of our midas, the shait to the nefesh haba. He said, what can we be mavada? It's just on a very low level and on a very human level of amshoches moichin lamidas, or maybe amshoches makifin shel moichin. But how do we get to the sharanun? The sharanun is pnimis hakesher shel amayla. Well, that's a gift. It's a matona. But the Gemara says in Behar Pasha that you don't give a matona to somebody unless he's done you some. If he's done you some nachas ruach, then you give him. So the fact that we counted the whole Omer, that's like a nachas ruach. We did the Eivisha, we did the best we could, and therefore the Eivisha gives you the sharam. Gives you the ganze matan Torah, the ganze hanoichi Hashem lekeach metalti, as a matona. But at least you did what you could. Yeah, you put in the best you could. The Eivisha get Israel to a matona, or you did the best you could. I say, Barichas, he's masbeh that whole in the mile of the Parasha. And then he said, and that's the kasha here. He said, the Shemitah, according to the Rabban, is indicatory of Leosid Lovi. He said, Leosid Lovi is a Madrega, which is, the Sharanun is also, he called small play, like I'll be that. And here it's written, Hein loy nizra, loy nasifas to asena. They represent in Ruchnias, the Avedas HaMitzvahs, the Avedas HaBirudim, and the Avedas HaOdinonim, Alinonim. It's all going to not have any error, it's not even going to be. The Rebbe said the Birudim are finished. Yeah, all of those Inyonim, they've all ceased. Remember, like Abbi Yossi, it says that if there's a special kasha, we're not going to be doing anything. Yeah, said Gornishnitine. Yeah, how are we going to have the bracha from the Yossi? Hein loyna, we're not going to be doing it. And he said there it means positively. We're saying to the Evs, you said not to sow, not to, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to sow, and we're not going to reap, meaning in Ruchnis, we're not going to be doing anything anymore. And Avu Biken, you're going to give us our bracha. And that's what the kasha, how does that work? How is that going to work? Here's David, that's Abatin. Therefore the Evs said, don't worry, I will give it even without it, this is a amazing thing. He's not there. Had he come to Rebbe Hashem? So I thought to myself, it's very strange. What does it mean, without this is a so he means in Aveda, the whole Avedas of Birudim and all those in Yonim with mitzvahs. He brings one day that mitzvahs potatoelessly, we don't necessarily, the Rebbe doesn't hold that way, but one day it says he won't even be keeping mitzvahs. So it won't even be the issues of mitzvah. What will it be? And so he said, don't worry, the Eivisha will command, and everything will come, and it'll all come. So wasn't with the Aveda, the Golas, wasn't with the Alinyonim. He sort of tends to leave that and say that's beautiful. Next show, and the Eivisha will command. But it seemed to me that the one thing that's needed, is that you want to be makabel the bracha. In other words, let's say that somebody's prepared to give you this unbelievable bracha, she'ein with a soft tachlis, and you would say, wait a minute, maybe keep your bracha. Would he want to give you the bracha? He'd say, no, that's how you mityaches. Therefore, the Rebbe says, you've got to demand the bracha, you've got to show emes, all the Avedas finished. What you'll do now is absolutely shaloi be'erah. And the Eivisha wants to command it, but even in that command, he needs okay. He needs the okay. What is the okay? Yeah, anachnu rotzim Moshiach ad masa. We show that we want, and if you show that you want, and you'll shrei, and it's not a latata. It's not a it's like you might call a green light. You're showing the evidence that you do really want. So then he's prepared to give you a bracha which is bli shum in clothes. It can't even be called, and this is rusa de latata derek matana. It's so high, but it's waiting there for it. And that's what the Rebbe said. It's all there. A cool I saw this morning, I was learning with a couple of guys, I saw this morning a very amazing deal from the Geras HaTshuva in Perek Hay. The Alter Rebbe says that nothing can block between you and the Eibusha. It's not shy. You can't possibly block, because everything is him. Since everything is him, how can you block between you and it? He said one thing can block, and that is Avedas. That's for sure. A thing which is not Ratzon Hashem, that can block between you and him. It's Kilo Neged Ratzoina, as the Neged Kol Hashpoas, which came from Ratzoina. You can make a block. And he said, Zeh Masha Kosev Yeshaya. Kosev Yeshaya, Ki Yima V'nisechem Ayu Mavdilim B'nechem B'nechem. What does he mention Yeshaya? He brings about 5 psukim before that. He doesn't even mention where they're written. And the whole Tana, he brings psukim left, right, and center. He doesn't say who said the psukim. Only on very rare occasions, once in a yovel, once in a yovel, the Alter Rebbe mentions who said the pasuk. And here he says, Kamosha Kosav Yeshaya, Kosav Yeshaya, like Kosav Be, no Kosav Yeshaya. What's that got to do with it? And so I said to the guy that what it means is that Yeshaya is the Novi HaGeula. He's the Novi HaNechoma, the Novi HaGeula. And as far as Yeshaya is concerned, the Geula is already there. The Rambam says, Kol HaNeviim Maleim. And there he writes in a footnote, what does the Rambam mean by Maleim Midova there, on the Geula? The Rambam writes it in the Arach HaZochah. The Rebbe said that means that even the psukim that don't look as if they're talking about it are really talking about it. They're also talking about it. Remember, Yeshaya, the Novi HaGeula, he says, he says it's already, the Geula is already there, everything is there. There's only one little thing can stop. Remember, don't get involved in that, Rahman, keep out of that, because that's going to hold up the Geula. If Cholilam, overrule Misharayah for a minute, or those can. That can be maval, but apart from that, everything is a Geula, everything is there, and that's Yeshaya. That's what he's saying. It's all there. Just don't make me a polila, a mishmenish sinkhok. Don't make a thing which could interfere. And the same thing here. What the Rebbe is saying is, don't interfere. Don't show that you got any hesitation. Just straight. We want Moshiach now. Ad Mosai. They said, oh yeah, take it. And then it'll go. Take it me ad man. I mean, that's how the Rebbe Rashab. That's how he learned that. That's like a hemshit the Rebbe Zusha, but on a much sort of higher and more sort of wondrous type of level, that there's not going to be any real Esarusta at all for Yosef Klalli. So we wouldn't have got to that situation hadn't it been the whole Mesiras Nefesh of the Golisman. I'll think but when they get to the Etzim Inyan, how it's going to be Nimshach, nothing's going to be but a cloud. All the Eibusha wants is he should say, oh yeah, but where is it? Come on, let's go. Oh, they want to go. And that's basically what I have to say. Oh, what's it going to do with Lag Bema? What the size of Lag Bema is that Reb Zusha, with the Alter Rebbe, they were the beginning of the scholars of Ba'olam Kipshute of Reb Shimon. They brought down the whole Indian. Reb Shimon, he went through the Ramban and other great authorities. They brought him down into his pashtus Ba'olam Aki Pshuta. Mitzad Pnimis HaTorah, we can live in such a way. We don't have any kasha, we don't have anything, we don't interfere with anything. And the whole Inyan is just the Geula Shalom, like at this point there. And that's the whole Inyan, that Rebbe Shimon and Pnimis HaTorah, their whole Inyan is to bring it to such a point that Mitzad B'tochen and Mitzad Zichachkeit, that everything is good, everything's going to be better, and take of me it's going to be the best. It's going to be Moshiach. Well, that's an essential part of our whole lives as Yidden. Otherwise, we're not really living the emes of the Derech. And that was Megala Reb Shimon. That's what Reb Shimon Megala did. And that came down the generation, and it found its way through to people like Reb Zusha and the Alter Rebbe and all the Rebbeim. And the Rebbe is the final one. The Rebbe is saying, here we are, guys, we're holding right by the thing. Here we go. And the Rebbe is like the last final policeman that's opening all the traffic. And here we go. It's all opening up. Just don't get in the way. Don't miss it. bezrayvim.